The revelation. Commander Maya Wright stood motionless on the observation deck of the Earth diplomatic vessel Horizon, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the Galactic Council chambers. What had started as a routine diplomatic mission had turned into the worst day of her life. The Council's inner circle had forgotten to disable the surveillance systems in their private chamber, a fatal oversight that now exposed their true intentions to human ears. The humans have outlived their usefulness, Grand Counselor Zexthar of the Arcturian Dominion declared, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence. Their protected status ends tomorrow. The Morrigan Collective will move against their outer colonies within a standard week. Maya's breath caught in her throat as she listened to these supposedly enlightened beings discuss the extinction of her species as casually as one might discuss the weather. "And what of the resource-rich Sol system?" asked Representative Quill of the Vespid Hive. "To be divided among council members according to the agreement," replied Zexthar, projecting a complex distribution map. "Their world is primitive but resource-rich. The humans themselves will make adequate labor for the mining operations. Those who resist will be eliminated. 300 years of alliance, shattered in a single conversation. The Galactic Council had welcomed humanity into their fold when Earth's first faster-than-light vessel had stumbled into their territory. They had shared technology, opened trade routes, and offered protection. And all the while, they had been waiting for the right moment to strike. "Lieutenant Chen," Maya whispered to her communications officer, "encrypt this feed and transmit it directly to Earth Command. Authorization code Theta 90. "Yes, Commander," Chen replied, his fingers flying across the holographic interface. "Transmission complete. Earth Command acknowledges receipt." "Prepare for immediate departure," Maya ordered. "Inform the diplomatic team we're leaving. Now." "Commander," Chen's voice dropped to a whisper, "sensors are detecting multiple Morrigan warships decloaking around the station." Maya's blood ran cold. "They're moving early. Alert the crew. Emergency protocols." The Horizon wasn't a warship. As a diplomatic vessel, it carried minimal defensive capabilities, certainly nothing that could stand against Morrigan hunters. Their only hope was to reach the jump gate before they were intercepted. "All personnel, this is Commander Wright," Maya announced shipwide. "Secure for emergency departure. This is not a drill." As the Horizon detached from the Council station, Maya could see the massive Morrigan vessels moving into attack positions. The elegant blade-like ships were renowned throughout the galaxy for their speed and firepower. No one escaped the Morrigan hunters. No one except humans. "Activate countermeasures," Maya ordered. "Countermeasures?" Lieutenant Chen questioned. "Commander, we don't have." "Authorization, right?" Echo 77. Maya interrupted, entering a complex sequence into her personal console. The ship shuddered as hidden compartments throughout its hull slid open, revealing weapons systems that no diplomatic vessel should possess. The Horizon's energy signature suddenly changed, its reactor output tripling in seconds. Chen stared at his console in disbelief. "Commander, what is this?" "Insurance," Maya replied grimly. Humanity never fully trusted the Council. Every human ship that leaves Earth carries hidden capabilities. Just in case. The Morrigan vessels opened fire, their energy beams slicing through the void toward the Horizon. But instead of the easy kill they expected, the human ship deployed advanced shield technology that absorbed the attacks with minimal damage. "Return fire," Maya commanded. "Target their propulsion systems only. We need to slow them down, not start a war. Not yet, anyway." The Horizon's concealed weapons lashed out, striking with precision that shocked the Morrigan pilots. Their vessels, suddenly crippled, tumbled into awkward trajectories as the human ship accelerated toward the jump gate. "They're calling for reinforcements," Chen reported. "The entire Council fleet will be after us once we jump." Maya nodded. "Send a final transmission to Earth. Tell them. Firebreak protocol is confirmed. They'll understand." As the Horizon approached the jump gate, Maya thought of her family back on Earth, her husband teaching at the academy, her daughter just starting university. They had no idea that everything was about to change. The jump gate activated, its swirling vortex engulfing the horizon in a flash of light. When they emerged in the next system, Maya knew the countdown to war had begun. Admiral James Harrington stood in Earth's Defense Command Center, watching as analysts and officers worked frantically at their stations. The transmission from the horizon had arrived hours ago, triggering the highest level of alert across all human territories. Firebreak protocol confirmed. Admiral, reported General Santos. All outer colony defensive systems are activating. Civilian evacuations are underway. Harrington nodded gravely. And Project Phoenix, ready for implementation on your command. For over a century, humanity had prepared for this possibility. While presenting a face of diplomatic cooperation to the Galactic Council, Earth had been secretly building. Deep beneath the surface of the moon, inside hollowed-out asteroids, and within the clouds of gas giants, humans had constructed shipyards, weapons facilities, and research stations, all hidden from Council sensors. Project Phoenix was the culmination of those efforts, a fleet of warships incorporating both reverse-engineered alien technology and uniquely human innovations. Ships that had never been registered, never been seen, and never been suspected by the Council races. The Council believes they're dealing with a technologically inferior species, Harrington said. It's time to correct that misconception. Activate Phoenix Protocol. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations began to power up. On distant moons and asteroids, massive doors opened to reveal fully equipped warships. Within Jupiter's radiation belts, stealth platforms armed with weapons of terrifying destructive potential emerged from their hibernation. "Sir," called out a communications officer, "we're receiving a priority message from Colony Outpost Delta. They're under attack." The main display shifted to show the small research colony on Titan. Morrigan warships descended through the moon's thick atmosphere, their weapons tearing through the habitat domes. Thousands of civilians, scientists, engineers, and their families ran for evacuation ships as their home collapsed around them. They're not waiting, Harrington realized. The Council is moving faster than we anticipated. Phoenix Squadron Alpha is closest to Titan, General Santos reported. Estimated arrival time: 17 minutes. Deploy them immediately, Harrington ordered, and alert the Prometheus Division. It's time to test their new toys. As orders raced through the command network, Harrington opened a secure channel to the President of the United Earth Government. "Madam President, Phoenix is activated. We recommend initiating bunker protocol for major population centers." The President's face was grim but resolute. "Already done, Admiral. The subterranean shelters are being prepared. How long do we have?" "Hours, maybe days before they reach Earth. But we got surprises waiting for them. I'm authorizing full deployment of all reserved military assets," the President declared. "The Council has broken faith. They will learn that humanity is not easily extinguished." As the transmission ended, Harrington turned back to the command center. "I want a direct line to Commander Wright on the horizon. If she's made it back to friendly space, I need her intelligence on Council fleet movements." On Titan, the Morrigan attack force moved with practiced efficiency. They had conquered dozens of worlds for the Council, and this primitive human outpost would be no different. Their commander, War Leader Vex, watched with satisfaction as his troops rounded up survivors for processing. "Pathetic," he commented to his second-in-command. "The Council said they might have hidden defenses, but I see nothing but fear." "War Leader," his sensor officer called out, "we're detecting multiple jump signatures approaching the moon." "Reinforcements already?" Vex questioned. "The Council must be eager to claim this system." "Sir, they're not Council signatures. They're unknown." Before Vex could respond, the first human warship materialized above Titan's North Pole. Unlike the utilitarian vessels the Council had seen before, this ship was sleek, predatory, and bristling with weapons systems that made his sensor officer gasp. "Impossible. Vex whispered as 7 more ships appeared, surrounding his attack force. His communications array crackled to life, and a human voice filled the command deck. Morrigan vessels, this is Captain Elena Diaz of the Earth Defense Force. You have attacked a civilian research installation in violation of all interstellar law. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Vex snarled in defiance. Humans do not give orders to the Morrigan. We are the Council's sword. Then you will be the first to learn. Diaz replied coldly. That humanity's shield is stronger than you imagine. The human vessels opened fire with weapons technologies that the Morrigan had never encountered. Instead of conventional energy beams, these weapons fired pulses that seemed to distort space itself around Vex's ships. Where they struck, hull materials simply came apart at the molecular level. Return fire. Vex ordered desperately, but his ship's targeting systems couldn't lock onto the human vessels, which moved with impossible agility. Within minutes, the Morrigan attack force was reduced to drifting debris. War Leader Vex, watching his fleet disintegrate around him, sent one final transmission to Council High Command. The humans. They were ready for us. They have technologies we've never seen. This isn't a conquest. It's a trap. Captain Diaz watched impassively as the final Morrigan ship exploded. Secure the colony, she ordered her crew. Search for survivors and deploy medical teams. As her ship moved into position above the damaged habitat domes, Diaz opened a channel to Earth Command. Phoenix Squadron Alpha to command. Titan is secure. The Morrigan task force has been eliminated, but civilian casualties are high. Understood, Captain, came Admiral Harrington's voice. Hold position and continue rescue operations. Be advised. Council main fleet has been detected entering the Kuiper Belt. All Phoenix squadrons are being deployed to defensive positions. Diaz nodded grimly. We'll be ready, sir. Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden fleet emerged from decades of secrecy. Ships that combined the best of human ingenuity with revolutionary technologies developed in secret. While Earth had officially welcomed Council advisors and technology, a shadow research program had been pushing the boundaries of physics in ways the alien races had never imagined or had deliberately kept from their human allies. On Earth, President Eliza Chen addressed the unified governments of humanity. Her face, broadcast to billions across the planet and colonies, showed the steel that had made her the most respected leader in generations. Citizens of Earth and her colonies, today we face the greatest threat in our history. The Galactic Council, which welcomed us into their community 3 centuries ago, has betrayed us. They plan not just to conquer our worlds, but to enslave or exterminate our species. Displays showed the encrypted Council communications intercepted by Commander Wright, along with footage of the attack on Titan. But humanity has never placed its fate entirely in the hands of others, Chen continued. Since our first contact with alien life, we have prepared for this possibility. Today, those preparations will save us. Throughout cities worldwide, massive doors began to open in the ground, revealing entrances to vast underground complexes. For your safety, I am ordering the activation of our planetary shelter network. These facilities can house our entire population indefinitely, protecting you from orbital bombardment while our forces defend our solar system. Chen's voice grew harder as she addressed her next words to the approaching Council fleet. To the leaders of the Galactic Council, we know your intentions. We have seen your treachery. For centuries, we studied your technologies, your tactics, your weaknesses. We accepted your friendship while preparing for your betrayal. You believed us primitive. You will learn how wrong you were. You sought to hunt us like prey. Instead, you will find predators waiting in the dark. This is humanity's warning, the only one you will receive. Turn back or face extinction. As Earth prepared for war, Phoenix squadrons took up defensive positions throughout the solar system. The advanced technologies they carried, quantum distortion weapons, phase shields, gravity manipulation drives, were about to be revealed to a galactic community that had severely underestimated human potential. The battle for Sol was about to begin. The Reckoning. Grand Admiral Jorek of the Galactic Council combined fleet watched with growing unease as his forward scouts reported back from the Sol system. The intelligence provided by the Council had assured him this would be a simple operation: overwhelm the primitive human defenses, secure their resource-rich planets, and incorporate their species into the Council's labor force. Every report now contradicted that assessment. 37 scout vessels dispatched, reported his tactical officer, a tall Vespid whose chitinous exoskeleton clicked nervously. Only 3 have returned. The others were destroyed by technologies we cannot identify. Jorek's 4 eyes narrowed, the inner pair focusing on the tactical display while the outer pair watched his officers for signs of wavering resolve. The Council fleet consisted of over 500 warships from 7 different species, the largest military force assembled in centuries. It should have been invincible. "Show me the sensor readings from the surviving scouts," he ordered. The display shifted to show grainy footage of human vessels that bore little resemblance to the registered ships in Council databases. These were predatory, sleek machines of war with capabilities that defied conventional understanding of physics. They were waiting for us, Jorek realized. This is not the reaction of a species caught unprepared. "Grand Admiral," his communications officer interrupted, "we're receiving a transmission from the humans. It's being broadcast on all frequencies." "Put it through." A holographic display flickered, revealing the stern face of Admiral James Harrington. The human wore a simple dark uniform with minimal insignia, unlike the elaborate dress favors that Council military leaders preferred. "This is Admiral Harrington of the Earth Defense Force," the human began without preamble. "Your Council has broken 3 centuries of peace. You have attacked our colonies, killed our civilians, and revealed your intentions to enslave our species." Harrington's eyes seemed to bore directly into Jorek. "You were told we were primitive. You were told we would be easy prey. You were lied to." The display split to show footage of Morrigan warships being systematically destroyed by weapons that seemed to bend reality itself around their targets. "This is your only warning," Harrington continued. "The Sol system is now closed to Council vessels. Any ship crossing the boundary we have established will be considered hostile and destroyed. You have 6 hours to retreat with your fleet intact." The transmission ended, leaving Jorek staring at the tactical display. The boundary the human mentioned was now visible, a line of sensor buoys deployed across the system's edge. "They cannot be serious," scoffed his second-in-command. "No matter what hidden technology they possess, they cannot stand against the combined might of the Council." Jorek wasn't so certain. 3 centuries of observing humans had taught him one crucial lesson. They were dangerously adaptive. When faced with superior force, they didn't surrender, they evolved. "Maintain position," he ordered finally, "but move our reserve fleet elements forward. When the deadline expires, we will advance on multiple vectors. Let's see how stretched their defenses truly are." In the hidden command center beneath Earth's Pacific Ocean, Dr. Layla Sharma stood before the gathered military leaders. As head of Project Nexus, she had spent 20 years developing the quantum entanglement technology that now represented humanity's greatest weapon. "The Nexus system is fully operational," she reported, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility she carried. "All defense platforms are synchronized to the quantum network." Admiral Harrington nodded appreciatively. "And the range?" "Unlimited," Sharma replied. "Once the entanglement is established, distance becomes irrelevant. We can target any ship in the system with microsecond precision." The Nexus technology represented a fundamental breakthrough in physics, one that the Council races had either never discovered or deliberately suppressed. By creating quantum links between weapons platforms throughout the solar system, Earth's defenses could coordinate with perfect synchronization, striking from multiple directions simultaneously. "What about the Archimedes Protocol?" asked General Santos, referring to the most classified aspect of Project Nexus. Dr. Sharma's expression grew grave. "It's ready, But I must emphasize again the ethical implications. Once deployed, we cannot control its spread. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, Harrington said quietly. The President has authorized its use only as a last resort. The Archimedes Protocol was humanity's doomsday option, a quantum virus designed to infiltrate the standardized operating systems that Council ships relied upon. Once activated, it would spread through their communication networks, corrupting navigation and weapons systems irreparably. It was the digital equivalent of a plague, and its deployment would violate every ethical principle of warfare that humanity still honored. 6 hours until the deadline, Harrington noted. They won't retreat. The Council has never backed down from a show of force. Then we give them a demonstration they can't ignore, General Santos suggested. Harrington considered this, then nodded. Activate Phoenix Squadron Delta. Target the Council's forward elements only. I want to send a message, not start the genocide. Across the system, human ships moved into position. Unlike their Council counterparts, which relied on overwhelming force and numbers, the Phoenix vessels emphasized stealth, speed, and precision. Each ship carried quantum-linked weapons systems that could coordinate attacks across vast distances, striking from angles that defied conventional defensive tactics. Commander Sophia Jackson sat in the captain's chair of the EDF Nemesis, the lead ship of Phoenix Squadron Delta. Once a promising diplomat in the Council embassy, she had requested transfer to the military after witnessing the casual racism of Council representatives firsthand. Now, she would be the first to demonstrate humanity's true capabilities. All ships report ready, Commander, her tactical officer announced. Target designated Council vessels only, Jackson ordered. Precision strikes. I want their command ships disabled, not destroyed if possible. The Nemesis and its sister ships activated their phase drives, another technology kept secret from the Council. Unlike conventional FTL systems that required massive energy expenditure, the phase drive briefly shifted the vessel partly out of normal space, allowing it to move through matter as if it weren't there. Grand Admiral Jorak was reviewing attack plans when his flagship shuddered violently. Alarms blared across the command deck as systems began failing in cascading sequence. Report, he demanded. Unknown vessels inside our formation. His tactical officer shouted, panic evident in his voice. They appeared from nowhere. Our screens detected nothing. The display showed Phoenix Squadron vessels materializing within the Council fleet's defensive formation, an impossible maneuver by all understood laws of physics. Before the Council ships could react, precisely targeted weapons fire disabled engines, weapons systems, and communications arrays. They're targeting command ships only, the tactical officer realized. Surgical strikes to our control systems. Jorak watched in disbelief as his carefully organized fleet fell into chaos. Without central coordination, ship captains reverted to their species' individual tactics, breaking the unified strategy he had planned. All ships, he broadcast on emergency channels, maintain discipline, form defensive clusters, and prepare tow. His transmission cut off as the Nemesis appeared directly above his flagship, its weapons trained on the command deck. A communication request flashed on his terminal. This is Commander Sophia Jackson of the Earth Defense Force, came a calm voice when he accepted the channel. Your command capabilities have been neutralized. In approximately 10 minutes, your fleet will begin receiving evacuation requests from your disabled vessels. You have a choice, Grand Admiral. Withdraw your remaining combat-effective ships, or lose them all. Jorak's outer eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of extreme stress in his species. You cannot expect me to retreat based on one surprise attack. The Council will never. The Council sent you here based on false information, Jackson interrupted. They told you we were primitive. They told you we would fall easily. Look around you, Admiral. Does this look like the work of primitives? On his tactical display, Jorak could see more human vessels emerging from stealth throughout his fleet formation. Not hundreds, but thousands, far more than Council intelligence had indicated possible. "We've been hiding, Admiral," Jackson continued. "For 3 centuries, we've been building, preparing, advancing while presenting a facade of technological inferiority. The Council saw what we wanted them to see." Shorak felt a cold realization settle over him. Why? If you had these capabilities, why maintain the charade for so long? "Because humans understand patience," Jackson replied. "We wanted peaceful coexistence. We still do. But we never trusted the Council completely, and today proves we were right to be cautious." As if to emphasize her point, another wave of Phoenix vessels decloaked, these carrying planet-killer-class weapons that could reduce worlds to asteroid fields. "You have 1 hour to begin withdrawal," Jackson stated flatly. "After that, we will consider your continued presence an existential threat to our species and respond accordingly." The communication ended, leaving Shorak with the most difficult decision of his military career. On Earth, President Chen received the report of Phoenix Squadron's successful demonstration with mixed emotions. The Council fleet was in disarray, dozens of their command ships disabled with minimal casualties. But this was only the beginning. "Admiral Harrington tells me the Council fleet has begun pulling back its forward elements," she told her assembled cabinet. "But their main force remains in position. They're buying time," Defense Minister Okafor suggested, "waiting for reinforcements." "Reinforcements that will never arrive," added Intelligence Director Yamamoto, activating a holographic display that showed distant regions of Council space. "Our deep cover agents have triggered Operation Sundering." The display showed Council member worlds in turmoil as carefully planted evidence revealed the leadership's true intentions regarding Earth. Centuries of human intelligence work were bearing fruit as civilian populations protested their government's actions. "The Arcturians and Vespids are already withdrawing support for the military action," Yamamoto continued. "Their populations are demanding answers about the planned enslavement of a sentient species. 3 other Council races are experiencing similar civil unrest." President Chen nodded approvingly. "Divide and conquer, the oldest strategy in the book, and still effective." "Madam President," Admiral Harrington's voice came through the secure channel, "the Council fleet is showing signs of internal conflict. Several contingents appear to be breaking formation and preparing to jump out system." "The coalition is fracturing," Chen observed. "But the Morrigan will remain committed, along with the Exertians. They've invested too much in this operation to back down." "Then perhaps it's time for our final revelation," suggested Dr. Sharma, who had been listening quietly. All eyes turned to her. "The Nexus system can do more than coordinate our defenses," she explained. "With some modifications, we can give them a glimpse of the Archimedes protocol, just enough to understand what they're facing, without actually deploying it." Chen considered this carefully. The Archimedes protocol represented a line that, once crossed, could never be uncrossed. But a demonstration might be enough to end this conflict before it escalated further. "Do it," she ordered finally, "but only a demonstration. Target a single Morrigan vessel, preferably one with minimal crew." When the Archimedes protocol activated, every electronic system on the targeted Morrigan cruiser simultaneously failed. Not just powered down, but fundamentally changed at the quantum level. Circuits rewrote themselves. Computer cores transformed into useless crystal structures, and energy distribution networks collapsed into random patterns. The ship didn't explode. It simply stopped. Every electronic system transformed into something unrecognizable, leaving it drifting dead in space, its crew trapped but alive. The demonstration was broadcast to every Council vessel, along with a simple message: "This is what awaits your entire civilization if you continue your aggression against humanity. The quantum virus you just witnessed can be transmitted through your communication networks, spreading to every connected system in Council space. Your ships, your stations, your planetary infrastructure, all vulnerable. We do not wish to use this weapon. Unlike you, we do not seek the extinction of other species. But make no mistake, if pushed to the edge of extinction ourselves, we will take you with us. This is humanity's final warning. Flee or perish. Within hours, the Council fleet began a full retreat. First, the Arcturians, then the Vespids, followed by the smaller contingents. Only the Morrigan remained, their cultural pride refusing to accept defeat. Grand Admiral Jorek, watching his coalition disintegrate around him, made the most difficult decision of his life. He ordered the Morrigan contingent to stand down and withdraw. "This is not surrender," he told his furious Morrigan captains. "This is strategic reassessment. The humans have weapons we do not understand and cannot counter. We must return to Council space, analyze what we've learned, and develop new strategies." What he didn't say was that he intended to recommend a complete revision of the Council's approach to humanity. Any species that could hide such technological advancement for centuries while presenting a convincing facade of inferiority was not a species to be underestimated. 1 month after the Battle of Sol, Commander Maya Wright stood in the newly established human embassy on neutral territory. Unlike the previous embassy, which had been designed to project an image of humility and gratitude toward the Council, this structure incorporated the true extent of human architectural and technological achievement. Across from her stood representatives from 3 former Council races, the Arcturians, Vespids, and Tellarites, who had broken from the Council after learning of the planned extinction of humanity. "The Galactic Council, as we knew it, is finished," stated the Arcturian diplomat. "Their deception regarding your species has fractured the alliance beyond repair." Maya nodded. "And what do your governments propose instead?" "A new beginning," offered the Vespid. "A true alliance based on mutual respect rather than dominance and subjugation. We have much to learn from humans, not least your remarkable capacity for both trust and verification. My government authorizes me to extend an offer of technological exchange," added the Tellarite representative, "particularly regarding your phase drive system, which would revolutionize transportation throughout known space." Maya smiled diplomatically. "I'm authorized to begin preliminary discussions on limited technology sharing, with appropriate safeguards. But understand this, humanity will never again place its fate entirely in alien hands. Our defenses remain, our fleet stands ready, and our resolve is unbroken. The new galactic order will be one of equals," she continued, "or it will not include humanity at all." As the diplomats began their negotiations, Maya looked out through the embassy's transparent dome at the stars beyond. Humanity had survived its greatest test, not by overwhelming force, but through foresight, patience, and the uniquely human trait of preparing for the worst while hoping for the best. The Council had sought to exterminate a supposedly primitive species. Instead, they had unleashed humanity's true potential onto the galactic stage. The message had been delivered and understood throughout civilized space. Underestimate humans at your peril. In the vast network of underground shelters beneath Earth's surface, citizens were already returning to the surface as the immediate threat receded. The planet-wide drill had demonstrated the effectiveness of centuries of preparation. Schools reopened, businesses resumed operation, and life returned to normal, though forever changed by the knowledge that they were not alone, and not necessarily among friends, in the universe. Admiral Harrington stood with President Chen on the observation deck of Earth's orbital defense platform, watching as the Phoenix fleet conducted exercises in near-Earth space. No longer hidden, humanity's true military capabilities now patrolled openly, a constant reminder to any watching species that Earth was not defenseless. "Do you think they'll try again?" Chen asked quietly. "Someone will, eventually," Harrington replied. "But not soon, and not in the same way. We've changed the equation fundamentally. And the Archimedes Protocol, secured but maintained as our last resort. Dr. Sharma continues to refine it, making it both more effective and more precisely targeted." Chen nodded thoughtfully. "We came close to the edge, becoming the very monsters we feared. But we didn't cross that line," Harrington reminded her. "That's what separates us from them. We had the power to erase their civilization, and chose restraint instead. As they watched, a formation of Phoenix vessels executed a perfect phase shift maneuver, disappearing from normal space before reappearing in perfect formation on the far side of the moon. "What do you think happens next?" Chen asked. Harrington considered the question carefully. "Evolution. They'll adapt to us, we'll adapt to them. But this time, the adaptation will happen in the open, with honest assessment of each other's capabilities. And if they try deception again, then they'll learn that humanity's warning still stands." Harrington's expression hardened slightly. "Flee or perish." Across the stars, as news of the failed Council attack spread, other species began reassessing their understanding of the supposedly primitive humans. And deep in unexplored space, ancient races that had been watching from afar took note. A new power had emerged, one that combined technological prowess with something perhaps more dangerous, moral restraint backed by lethal capability. The galaxy would never be the same again.